Hello, all you underachieving drywallers out there in drywall land, and welcome to a modular episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Harmon. Once again, with us today, we have Hunter Thome from Cleveland, Tennessee. Yep, there's a place called Cleveland, Tennessee, with his first appearance on the show. And it wasn't always easy for Hunter, from his humble beginnings as an insulation guy, struggling to find employment at just 15, to being the lead of a drywall division at Wind River Built Company. We cover a broad array of topics, and we even find out how an unlikely Italian electrician may have inspired him to become more.
Outside of that Italian guy, I would pick up, remodels, bathrooms, kitchens, backsplashes, stuff like that. And there was this bathroom that I was remodeling. There was a bunch of tile in it. But anyway, I was setting a vanity, and I had to do a patch to go behind a mirror. And I had a sub lined up to come and, do the patches, and he canceled on me twice. And so I was like, okay, I'll just do it. Mm-hmm. I did not do it well.
Right.
And I got really irritated that I didn't do it well.
Okay.
And so after that, I decided I was going to figure out how to do that.
Oh, okay. You like that challenge.
Something.
We discuss the impact Fresco Harmony has had on his business, but it wasn't always easy. Hunter battled with a lung tumor that took him out of commission until he and his family were forced to move back to Tennessee from Washington, where he sought refuge with a little company called Wind River Build, and reimagined himself as their drywall front person. We discuss his involvement with Wind River and how a collaborative effort with Fresco Harmony could be the next hit in the tiny house world. Hunter is a fantastic guy. I look forward to meeting him, and I hope you listen to this one through because it is good. But right now, it's sponsor time. And what would my introduction to this little podcast be without a badass sponsor? I don't know. A company that has been steadfast supporter of the Drywall Podcast since the beginning, and they continue to support us and pioneer new and innovative tools in the drywall space. I'm talking about a little company out of Canada called Can-Am. That's right. We're ushering in Can-Am once again as our official sponsor for the months of August and September. And like always, we have something special cooked up. Maybe you've wondered if there could be a tool that both rolls and creases and glazes all your inside corners all at the same time. Well, wonder no more. That tool now exists, and we're about to talk about it. It's called the Creaser Corner Finisher, and it was inspired by a finisher named Pete Wilson out of Victoria, BC. And it's finally here. Introducing the Creaser Corner Finisher by Can-Am. Finally, a tool that combines the roller with the glazer, making your next swipe of that stand-up inside angle or upper angle fast and efficient. Precisely adjusted feathering tabs ensure a fast, uniform finish every time, and they'll connect right to your existing Can-Am flusher handle. Win-win. But don't take my word for it. Here is a couple of words from Pete.
No matter what you use to do your angles right now, nobody does it better than Can-Am. I would recommend Can-Am tools to anybody and everybody. They don't cost a lot to get into. It's actually some of the cheaper tools on the market, unbelievably. And they're gonna make you money. They're gonna streamline your workflow. Even if you've been doing this a long time and you use mechanical heads, I bet you will love these finishing heads.
Also, we are having Pete on the very next Drywall Podcast episode that airs. We had a great interview, so stay tuned for more information about this amazing tool and an amazing interview with a drywall legend spanning over 40 years. But for now, Hunter Thome out of Cleveland, Tennessee, on the 176th episode of the Drywall Podcast. Paper shuffle. Let's get into it. Hunter, what's going on?
Nick. How are you doing, buddy?
Good. 901. Hunter Thome out of Tennessee. No? Tallahassee? Yeah. Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, Cleveland, Tennessee.
Cleveland, Tennessee. Not to be confused with the famous Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland. Never knew there was such a place.
I know. It's a cool little town right outside of Chattanooga. It's
Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Have you been to Tennessee your whole life?
Mostly. I grew up in Middle Tennessee, about 4 hours north of here, in a little town called Cookeville.
Okay.
And then moved to Washington State for a decade, and then back down here.
And where at in Washington were you?
Ellensburg.
Ellensburg, that's right. We talked about Ellensburg a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice city. Why'd you go to Washington? Then why'd you come back?
So I went out to Washington because my wife's dad lived out there, and we had got the opportunity to go, and
yep.
So we got married and then moved out there like 3 days later.
All right.
I guess kind of the start of a new life kind of thing.
Yeah. Fair enough. And were you doing drywall out there?
Yeah. So I started. My first job in construction was for an insulation company, and it was not a good time. I'm not a fan of insulation.
Itchy. Real itchy.
Ton of respect to those guys. It's that's a whole different animal.
They get paid. I think they get paid all right.
Yeah, I mean, piecework is pretty good in insulation. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, you just don't want to do it.
You just don't want to do it. Correct.
Yeah. Cool. Well, so I know Hunter. I'll give a little background on how I know you. Your name has come up on the Fresco Harmony order. You know, I get orders coming in. Sometimes Hunter Thome comes up. So you've ordered Fresco a few times. I know that. And then I got in touch with, and forgive me, I forget her name. Who did I talk with at the modular / tiny home company?
Chloe.
Very sweet. We had a great conversation. And what is the name of that company? Also, forgive me.
Wind River Built.
Wind River. And I should know that. I forgot how to spell river, too. Wind River Built. And because in Carson, Washington, I grew up until I was 10 years on the Wind River. Mm-hmm. The actual Wind River up in Washington. There is such a thing. I talked with Chloe. She's super cool. They've been getting more involved with Fresco Harmony with Wind River Built. Mm-hmm. We could talk about that a little bit. They want to feature Fresco Harmony maybe in one of their modular. I don't, and you'll forgive my terminology. I don't know if I want to call it modular or tiny home or what the proper terminology is. We can talk about that. Mm-hmm. But Hunter, you ran your own company, but now you're involved with Wind River Built, correct?
Correct.
And Chloe was like, oh, you should reach out to Hunter. Like, that would be a pretty good interview. And I was like, yeah, he's bought product. He works with you guys. You know, yeah, let's have him on the show. So this is the first time, though, I've seen you face to face. Maybe have we talked before this about Fresco? Have you called me?
A couple times briefly, okay. But we've talked a couple times over the last 8-9 years.
So quite a while. You've been messing around with the Fresco.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Cool. And even prior to that, you were a drywall person running, and you have your original business name is pretty clever. What is it?
It's Wall Warriors.
Wall Warrior. Are you still running Wall Warrior?
No, not currently.
You're just with Wind River Built.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right. There's a lot here to unpack. I
Yes,
like
there
it. All right. Let's go back to the beginning. Drywall. I generally go to education. Did you do any secondary education? Are you a high school graduate? Are you second generation drywaller? You dropped out at like 15 to go help your dad. How did it start, man?
So I dropped out. Yes.
Nice.
It wasn't quite 15, but exactly. Yeah. Ninth grade, I think. I don't remember how old I was.
All right. I nailed it.
Yeah. You were pretty close. Yeah. But no, I didn't get into the trades then. It was a real rough time in my life. But,
Sure.
just kind of went to work doing whatever I could, trying to make what money I could.
What was it, like family stuff? Why did you drop out of school?
Yeah, it was family stuff.
Yeah.
My dad died when I was younger.
Okay.
And then from that point, it just, kind of kept going downhill and downhill.
How old were you when your dad passed?
12.
12. That's tough. That's
Yeah, it
tough
was.
stuff. And so your family, do you have siblings?
One brother. Yeah.
One bro. And mom, how was mom after that? Were they together?
Sort of.
Sort of.
They were, but they were in the process of splitting up.
Okay.
And then everything just kind of grenaded from there and just went downhill.
Okay. Yeah, it's a traumatic time to go through anything for an adolescent. And you had your brother, though. You and your bro close.
We weren't really close at the time. We're 14 years apart.
Oh, okay.
So he was already moved out at that point.
You got stuck with the shit, man.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, and then from there it would just kind of got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what ended up with me and my wife moving out to Washington.
Sure. But you didn't have a wife at 15. There's kind of a gap there. How old were you when you got married?
18.
18. So pretty young, though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe you got some help from your wife's family a little bit?
No, not really. So when I was 18, I had just bought a car.
Okay.
And we were kind of floating the idea around a little bit. And then her dad said, we could come up there, live with him for a little bit, kind of get something new. We were both looking to really start something new together and, kick off our life, our family. And so we took it, sold pretty much everything we had, took off in a little 2-seater sports car because I was 18 and really dumb.
Yeah.
Because that was the first car I bought. Was a 2003 Nissan 350Z.
Nice. I was thinking Nissan.
Yeah.
How old
Nissan
are you?
guy for sure. I am 33.
All right, and this was her father that suggested you come up to Ellensburg in Washington to maybe reestablish. But you were doing drywall, you said, before you went to Washington. How did you get into drywall?
So I guess my first taste of drywall, no, I wasn't doing drywall before. It was shortly after we got out there. My first taste of drywall, I guess, would be in Dairy Queen. Okay. I was working there when I was 16, and they were in the middle of remodeling it.
Okay.
And they had me, I was quite hungry at the time and looking for ways to make extra money.
Were you out of your house at that time?
Back and forth.
Back and forth. So it was like homelessness, maybe a little bit, struggling with like a home situation, and found a job. Because I mean, how do you get a job even at 16? Are they allowed to do that? Do you have to get some kind of special paperwork?
Fast food or under the table.
Okay. All right.
It was one of those weird things. I was doing whatever I could.
Yeah, you do what you can. Okay. So you're at Dairy Queen, 16. Forget about like trying to get to school and get like your education, finished up. You're like trying to survive. Times are tough. You're at a Dairy Queen. They got a drywall patch. You're like, sure, I'll do it.
Well, it started out as they were ripping out FRP out of there.
Okay.
And if you've ever ripped out FRP, it's very itchy. Big fibers of fiberglass flying everywhere. And the guy didn't want to do it. So I was like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so from there, I just kind of helped them with it a little bit and kind of got my first taste into the trades.
Yeah. How did you know how to fix the drywall or hang it or anything like that?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I knew I could figure pretty much anything out. And I've
That's
always
good.
really believed in myself and things like that. If the information exists, I can do it.
Okay.
And so just reading, internet, whatever I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
To figure out, techniques or, what needed to happen to get me to the next step, or what the next step was. 'Cause,
Yeah.
At that age, I didn't really know much of anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Let's fast forward a little bit. Are you still married?
Yes.
Nice. Any kiddos?
2.
2. Beautiful. What
2 girls.
ages? 2
9,
girls.
11.
Oh my gosh. Nice. I have a 10-year-old, so I'm right in there.
Nice.
I love it. Love it. Those are great ages. And what is the wife's name, if you don't mind? We can give her a shout out.
Kayla.
Kayla. Shout out to Kayla. And so at 33, 18, 28, 15 years married.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. Congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
two beautiful kiddos. That's awesome. What happens after Dairy Queen? You get a little taste of the drywall. You're like, maybe the fast food world isn't for me. I'm going to go try my hand at just drywall.
No, so when I was 18, we moved out there. I was working for that insulation company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I met this Italian guy that had a lot of rentals. He was a really cool dude. I love that guy.
This is in Ellensburg?
This is in Ellensburg, yeah.
Okay.
So while I was working at the insulation company, I really, really didn't want to do insulation.
Yeah.
And so I connected with him, and I started doing a whole bunch of side work for him, working on his rentals and stuff. And he kept encouraging me.
Was he a drywall guy, or was he just a sort of a
No,
rental?
he was an electrician who had a lot of rentals in the town.
Okay.
And he was encouraging me to go out on my own, for whatever purpose, so that he could utilize me more or whatever. But he kept encouraging me to go out on my own.
Okay.
I think I was at the insulation company for about 8 months before I pulled the trigger. And at first it was just remodeling.
Okay.
A little bit of everything. And then I think it was.
Were you working with like a contractor though at that time?
No.
Okay, just this Italian guy. He would tell you, I need like this ripped out. I need this fixed. And you're sort of, how are you figuring out how to do stuff?
Same thing. Internet.
Just internet, friends.
Yep.
Call somebody.
Yep.
Like whatever. Okay.
Yep.
All right. But it didn't occur to you to like go jump on with like a remodeling outfit?
Not really. I have thought about it. Over the years, it's something I've kind of played with in my head. My first couple jobs in the workforce, it really, I had a hard time, pulling myself back, and I wouldn't call it, stepping in line, but, I'm a very creative person. I like to maintain velocity. I like to, go fast. I like to problem solve. And I found myself, people kept trying to put me in a box that I didn't fit in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I had a hard time finding my place, in the world.
Yeah.
And, I felt obligated to myself to make my own path.
Okay.
There's a lot of problems I could have overcame easier if I had, joined a remodeling outfit or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lessons I wouldn't have learned if I went down that path.
True.
So
yeah,
it's just one of those things to where, hindsight, 2020.
Yeah.
But no regrets whatsoever.
Yeah, it sounds like if you had it to do over, you'd do it the same.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, regardless of the circumstance, while Warrior was born, was it born in Ellensburg?
Yes.
Okay. And you're working for this Italian guy. He's got a bunch of houses. Why did you pick or sort of go into? There's a lot of different fields you could have sort of gone as even electrician. Why did you go into the drywall realm?
Outside of that Italian guy, I would pick up, remodels, bathrooms, kitchens, backsplashes, stuff like that. And there was this bathroom that I was remodeling. There was a bunch of tile in it. But anyway, I was setting a vanity, and I had to do a patch to go behind a mirror. And I had a sub lined up to come and, do the patches, and he canceled on me twice. And so I was like, okay, I'll just do it. I did not do it well.
Right.
And I got really irritated that I didn't do it well.
Okay.
And so after that, I decided I was going to figure out how to do that.
Oh, okay. You like that challenge?
Something I do. I love the challenge, and I like to do it right. I like to do, good work. It's something I've always taken pride in, and that's something that's, always drawn me to this world, to, construction in general. And then after that, I decided I was just going to push that way. I like remodeling. I like the diversity you get with it. But I was also, kind of looking for a craft at that time.
Why were you looking for a craft at that time? You didn't want to just keep doing remodel, jack of all trades, expert of none.
Well, it's the expert of none part that got me. I really wanted to try and, because I guess part of me felt like aimless. So I guess that really gave me like a direction to hone in on. And there was just so much involved with, remodeling and Ellensburg. There's a permit for everything up in the Northwest. I got really irritated with that.
Yeah. A lot of bureaucracy, more so than the Southwest or Tennessee, I would imagine.
Yeah. And so I got a little irritated with that pretty quick. And I don't know, I guess I got drawn to that challenge and just kind of went for it.
Okay.
Decided I really wanted to hone in on it. I guess it made me mad enough to where I decided I was going to go do it. And I did.
Yeah. So your first generation drywall finisher. Yep. You like the hanging aspect of drywall? I do. You do?
I do.
Okay. All right.
It's funny. Drywall is kind of like a double-sided animal. Where the finishing gets into more of that creative side.
Yeah.
And the hanging gets into more of that, brunt physical geometry side.
Yes.
Like I guess it's, touching on both sides of the brain there.
Yeah.
And so the more I got into drywall, the more I began to really love it.
Very cool. So do you start Wall Warrior right away? That's like an LLC, legit above board company in Ellensburg.
Yeah.
But you're running into this bureaucracy, and it's just sort of causing just annoying and your wife's up there. Do you have the kids by this time when you decide to move back?
When I decided to move back to Tennessee?
Yeah, that would be 18 to 28 puts you in Ellensburg.
Yeah.
18 to 28. So you've got kiddos, you've got work, you got your family. Do you buy a house at this time? Are you able to get into a house?
Yeah.
In Ellensburg.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing okay. And then Kayla's probably, what's she up to? What's she doing?
I think she was working at a hotel at the time.
Okay.
Doing a front desk.
Okay.
And then we had our oldest at that point.
Right. That's a lot. You're both working. You got a little one. Yeah. All the freaking expense with all that. With the kiddo. But you're probably doing okay. It sounds like this electrician Italian rental owner guy he's keeping you pretty busy.
Oh yeah. He had I think it was like 35 rentals.
Okay.
And so that kept me busy.
Plus you tackle other crap. He probably liked that.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
I need all the lights changed. The gutter's got to be clean.
Yeah.
You got to paint the back room, fix the drywall. There's a freaking plumbing issue. I mean,
Well, and then all the way up to, full guts, because he would...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he was probably
a fun guy.
Flipping, like he was into flipping too and all that.
I don't think he ever sold anything he bought.
He would keep purchasing.
He would just keep buying them.
Interesting.
And then rent them.
Cool.
And he really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from him.
Cool. And what was his company up there in Ellensburg? We'll give him a shout out. Maybe he'll listen.
I don't think he had a company. I think it was just him.
He just did his thing.
He just did his thing.
Cool. Cool. And you guys got along. He liked you.
Yeah, we did.
He'd tell you to go fix something, you go fix it. He took care of you. That's good.
Yeah.
A lot of people have shitty first experiences with contractor taking advantage of them, or you can imagine.
Well, there is that fair share.
Yeah.
There is always that fair share.
Yeah, I call it getting beat up. The GCs always want to beat up the subs,
Yep. Yes, they do.
All that squeezing profit margins and whatnot.
Yeah, and it was hit or miss up there, because a lot of the drywall work was in two big gated communities, a little north of Ellensburg and a little it was Suncadia.
Okay.
It's just a gated community on a golf course, a lot of really big houses.
Yeah, pretty. It's a pretty area.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area.
That drive, I think, from Ellensburg to Seattle's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Going up over that pass, yeah. I love that drive.
Yeah.
Not so much in the winter, but
right.
Pretty much any other time.
Okay, so you're doing drywall for the Italian. It's at some point in that gap you discovered Fresco Harmony. How did you stumble on Fresco? Because I've never done a real good job of marketing, but
I think I was thinking about that for a little bit.
You're probably Googling crap.
Well, it might have been Google, but I'm pretty sure I saw you pop up in one of the Facebook groups.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's where I've met a lot of you guys and found a lot of the new stuff. And
right.
I immediately got intrigued.
Right.
Because, that's how I said, it kind of tickles both sides of the brain, the hanging and the finishing. Well, that really got into the creative side.
Yeah. Yeah. It doubles down on that, the love of the mud.
Right. But it also really kind of opened my eyes as to what was possible with drywall.
Right. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And not long after I discovered Fresco Harmony, I got really heavy into the technical side of finishing.
Okay.
What do you do, when, and why?
Right.
And I really started refining my process after that. Like, once I started being able to put, color on with Fresco Harmony and kind of branching out in there, it helped me notice a lot of little things that I didn't notice before.
Totally.
Like, getting into the technical side of it, where is the best place to put a lap mark versus a cut mark, and why? Just real little things like that, to where you can just the depth that you can get into with the trade, you can get really deep with it.
Yeah, and especially like the level 5 guys. And then this last episode with Jake, I mean, he's getting into like traditional fresco lime plaster. Like, he does imperials, he does like, and then like using derbies to get true level 5.
Right.
Where they're floating out, they're skirting and floating out the entire wall, tits flat. Like,
Yep.
All the way to like down here where it's like, okay, we're going to texture it. We need a, level 3. They sand the crap out of everything and move on to the next one. And it kind of looks okay,
right.
but it doesn't matter because it's production. You have this
Right.
huge, broad scope, and then you can dump color in it and you can do fresco if you want, or you can
Right.
get it. It's a gateway drug. You can kind of get into other finishes. Maybe somebody comes to you with like micro cement or Tadilac, and you're like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, I could probably wrestle through a shower in Tadilac. It'd look okay. You're going to be more qualified than somebody that's never done anything with a hawk and trowel.
Right.
So, yeah, it's endless, man. I feel like it takes you out of that box of just white mud, and it sort of opens up this other porthole into faux finishing, or like whatever you want to do involving the wall.
And that's a really deep rabbit hole.
Super deep, and like people don't do it, and it's sought after. Like, like people are looking for like experts all over, So you were finding like maybe some traction. Now you found out about the fresco. How did you go like start selling this stuff? Were you like just sort of offering it for free?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it really depended on, the client or the GC, because, everybody's a little different in what they're looking for. So you just got to kind of, get a feel of what they're looking for. If they're really hesitant, then sometimes, I would offer like an accent wall or something. And sometimes they would go for it, sometimes they wouldn't.
But how were you offering it? Did you have sample boards? And like obviously you had color chart, but you made sample boards?
Yeah.
And did we talk about marketing at all? Like on the phone?
A little bit.
Okay.
And it was one of those things to where everything in there was, custom homes, really big custom homes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a production environment. So it was one of those things to where the GCs were really iffy on trying something new, because
absolutely
timelines to keep, this and that. So it was hard to sell a lot of it. Because if it went bad for them, they didn't want to take that risk. But for like accent walls, things like that, you could do a little bit of that.
Sure. Yeah, Washington's probably an okay market too. It depends. I've learned even just recently, within the last few years, it's market oriented, like specialty walls.
Yep.
Like, I'm in an area where it's not. People are like, oh, that's a southwestern thing, and they do traditional plaster down here, but still predominantly orange peel, knockdown, hand trowel texture, and paint. Like that's
so much orange peel and
that's what they do.
Trowel texture, yeah, so much.
Why do you decide to go back to Tennessee?
So I got really sick at that point.
Okay.
I had a big lung tumor that turned out. It took a long time for them to figure out what it was.
Okay.
I guess because it's just not something they see much.
Okay.
And so I just got sicker and sicker and sicker until it just reached the point where I couldn't work anymore.
Okay.
And so at that point,
lung, like, so what were you feeling? Like just difficulty breathing?
Well, yeah, it was a lot of blood coming up.
Respiratory. Oh my God.
Yeah, like it got nasty. It got bad. And then they just couldn't figure it out. It turned out to be a fungal thing that I most likely picked up from an attic somewhere.
Like those remodels, man, like some black mold shit.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, yeah, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then, I kept fighting it. And then one day I said, I can't do it anymore. And then, things progressed, kind of slowly, and then all at once we had, probably 5,000-6,000 left, and we reached the point to where we had to make a decision, close up, declare bankruptcy.
This was because of the medical bills were piling up.
Yeah.
Did you have health insurance at that time?
No.
It's too expensive. Did your wife have health insurance through her job?
She didn't have it through her job, but she had it because she was, with the baby.
You got the kiddo.
So they were both covered. Yeah.
Okay.
And then once I started getting into a whole bunch of different specialists, they got real expensive real quick.
They make it easy for the entrepreneurs, don't they?
Very.
Especially if I just pray to God like nothing goes wrong with me.
Exactly.
Don't get me started. But the Canadians, that they'll brag that maybe they have universal health care, but there's other issues in different areas, of course. But healthcare is not our strong suit here.
No, it's not.
So it would be easier for you. But did you get fixed up in Ellensburg before you went to Tennessee, or you're like, we got to go down to Tennessee? I can fandangle stuff down there so that I can get help for this respiratory thing.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't get it fixed up there.
Okay.
I didn't get it fixed until probably 2 years after we came back.
Okay.
Not long before I started with Wind River.
Okay.
Because
that's a rowdy time, because you have two little ones, you're moving, and you're dealing with this problem that's probably disallowing you to work.
Yeah.
Egad.
Yeah. So it was
fun.
No, it was not fun. And my mind just went downhill at that point.
Yeah.
Because you work so hard to build something up, and then just watching it all fall apart, slowly and then all at once. So
it sounds like Wind River might have been, I don't know too much about them, but I've talked to Chloe. They seem like A-plus company. Maybe it was a stroke of luck that you found those guys, sort of a lifeline, because they seem amazing.
They are. They're a good crew to work for.
Cool. How did you hook up with that? And was that your lifeline? Was that something that sort of came to be and that helped get you back on track with your health issues and all of that?
Well, so I started when I got down to Tennessee, and I was still working through all that. And then I started, once they finally figured out what was going on, I got on medication, and they had to put me on that for about a year.
Okay.
And so pretty much right away, I had started feeling better after they started treating it.
Why did it take going to Tennessee to like start figuring this out? Why couldn't they figure it out in Washington?
I have struggled with that question for a long time.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And I am not entirely sure. Like, maybe it's just because they don't see it as much up there.
Yeah, just a shittier clinic you were going to or something, and maybe you found
It could be.
Sometimes it's a doctor that's like, have you tried this? And it works, you know.
Right. Yeah. And like, I guess they were just kind of, grasping at straws at that point.
Right.
And
it's lucky you went back down to Tennessee.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it happened exactly the way it needed to.
Yeah.
And I don't have to like it, but
right.
I think it went exactly the way it needed to.
You liked being in Washington better than being back in Tennessee?
Parts of it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the climate, I liked.
The humidity.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you get a lot of rain. You probably got a lot of rain in Ellensburg, right?
Some, yeah.
Not as much as the Western.
Right.
Appalachian.
Well, yeah, not as much as the Western Appalachians kind of thing. And the rain here is a lot different.
Right.
Like, I know it sounds silly, but the rainstorms are different.
Yeah.
So there's things about both places that I like and dislike.
Okay.
I think Ellensburg was, a lot milder throughout the year, and I think it's prettier, honestly.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. I think
I have not been to Tennessee.
Pretty.
We have Jay Delk is in Tennessee, I believe.
Yeah, he's in Clarksville.
He's in Clarksville. Yeah. So do you know Jay?
No.
Great guy.
I would love to talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should hook up. And he's doing fresco all the time. Okay, so you were getting fixed up and you were like, maybe I don't want to go out on my own again. I'm on the mend. We're getting this lung thing taken care of. Maybe I'll go try my hand working for somebody. Or did they find you? How did that come to be?
So I had started another LLC here in Tennessee, and I was kind of in a weird spot because I had, I was really worried about, building that back up, and having what happened last time repeat itself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was in a really weird place in my head about what I wanted to do.
Well, and you're like this independent guy that wants to you want to do like me, you want to do all your own stuff. You don't want anybody. Right. You want to work for anybody. You want to do your own thing.
Right.
I get it, and a lot of drywallers out there are the same way for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I was kind of going back and forth on it, on what I wanted to do long term. I was doing a bunch of patchwork, a bunch of, smaller houses, because it's a whole different environment. I was really amazed how different, the drywall, even just terminology is different down here compared to up there. It really threw me off. And so I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do long term. And then I found them on Indeed. And they called me within 10 minutes, and we started talking.
What Indeed was a job searching platform?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was on the fence about it, but I figured I'd just stick some feelers out there, and kind of see what I could find. And they popped up. I decided to, send my resume and a cover letter over, and
Beautiful.
it was about 10 minutes after that I got a phone call, and we started talking from there.
Who'd you talk to over there, if you don't mind?
I think his name was Jeremy. He was the HR guy at the time.
Okay.
He was a cool dude. Yeah, everybody I've met there has been pretty much the same way.
It's weird, man. You get a vibe when you talk to somebody, that where it's like, oh, these guys are cool. Like, like I want to work there. Like I own my own company, and I'm like, that would be seems like a very cool place to work. I'm shocked that they were trying to find people, but in today's market, it's like, it's hard to find anybody that really wants to, show up, work, not a knucklehead, like that kind of thing. And this was Wind River built, and it was Wind River built at the time. So we would say you're about 29, 30 at this point. How long have you been with those guys?
Yeah, about 30.
Okay.
I think I was 30. I've been there 2 years now. I was kind of worried. Well, when somebody calls you back that fast after you put in an application, like I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, these guys are desperate.
Right. Like what does that mean?
This must be a really shitty company.
it was something that caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at their Indeed reviews, and it was all, great reviews from past employees, and then every now and then you would find one that was a bad review, and they would say, they're asking for a quality that can't be done kind of thing. Sure. And then that piqued my interest.
Right, because you're a quality-oriented person.
Right. So,
all right.
At that point, my interest was piqued.
Yeah.
You put those two things together, and, because that's one of the things I was...
And also, you don't really put quality with modular. So they're sort of maybe reinventing the modular or the tiny house game, right? I mean, that's right. Kind of what I gathered. They want to make a quality small home, hence like the Fresco Harmony. So you're like, sorry, we're not there yet. Go back to your story about getting the interview.
At that point, it piqued my interest because, there was 2 or 3 reviews that kind of said the same thing, that, they were looking for a quality that wasn't doable. And, that's kind of one of the, as I was going back and forth in my head on what I wanted to do, that's kind of one of the things that I was really worried about is, getting on with somebody who just wants to, push it through. Like, and you just do whatever work, just get it done. We'll fix it later, or put it on somebody else. That's something that I knew I didn't want anything to do with. And so I kind of figured that it might be, kind of a higher end builder. So I figured, okay, let's go check it out. Worst case scenario is, I could, work there for a few months, get some money for, a trailer, LLC, and then go back at it. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
And so, the interview was, about an hour, something like that. And they were like, yeah, let's try you out.
Were they looking for like a drywall person?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They were specifically looking for a drywall guy.
Yep. Do they have a little drywall team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a drywall department. And as far as like a team goes, we have, hangers and finishers under the drywall department.
Yeah.
And so...
But it's no big deal. The house is like 500 square feet. hang it in a couple hours. And is it like production facility where there? Because I worked in a mobile home manufacturing in Longview, Washington. Does it operate kind of like that, where the floors move through the factory?
Sort of.
Okay.
Yes and no. It depends on the build because we do a lot of different builds.
Right.
You know, either whether it be, you know, tiny home, you know, on wheels or modular or, you know, even, you know,
Right.
some bigger stuff.
They're cool. These homes are cool as hell, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
I've like poked around on the website, but they're so cool. I want one. You
Yeah.
know, like I want to buy a Wind River home and like, you know, put it in the backyard.
100%.
As like an Airbnb or some shit, you know.
Yeah, and you know, with a lot of the, you know, developers, a lot of them that's what they like to do, you know, because the
Turnkey.
possibilities with it are turnkey, almost endless. You
Yeah.
know? And so the net of what all we can do is very wide, you know, be it, you know, custom tiny home or modular to, you know, hospitality and, you know, bigger developments.
So I remember in the drywall in the modular that I worked with, the drywallers, they had a certain section where they would do the house. It was just crap, you know. They're using hot mud. Everything's done with hot mud. They're pumping out like 5 floors a day. It's all crap.
Yeah.
You know, speed crap. There was one guy, all his job was to mix up hot mud all day. He's like covered in mud. He's like bringing buckets from floor to floor. It's probably a little cleaner than that, a little different. Does everybody on the drywall finishing team, how many people, and are they all pretty good finishers?
So right now it's just me doing the finishing.
Okay.
And then 3 hangers.
Okay. That's a lot of finishing.
Yeah. So we do have, you know, some backup for finishing, and it's kind of an as-needed thing.
Okay.
But I do pretty much all of the finishing.
And are you using the tools?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Tools, hand.
Sure.
It really just depends, but yeah.
Are you texturing primarily most of these?
Most of these are smooth wall.
They're smooth. Oh, okay. That makes
Yeah.
it more challenging. Because don't you get a lot of shifting in transport, a lot of repair after it gets to the site?
Well, you see, that's one of the things that kind of intrigued me early on and kind of hit the button for me. Is it's a whole new dimension. It's a whole new challenge, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because the physics and you know it's a whole different animal. Because you know, going down the road or, you know, being craned up in, you know, to be set on foundations or stuff, that's a whole nother dynamic that you have
Probably a stronger structure than your regular modular home, but we would caulk the transition, the ceiling wall. Do you guys do that?
No, it's all, you know, it's taped.
So do you deal with cracks and issues when the house gets to its location? And
Very
how do
rarely.
you? Very rarely. Why do you think that is? Because the framing's good?
Well, so that's kind of one of the really cool things about, you know, Wind River Built is, you know, we take care of each other all the way from framing all the way down. And that's something that's way different from, you know, the industry outside of there to in there. You know, if there's a problem, you know, we can just, you know, go to our framing team, or, you know, we have our meetings and we can, you know, say, hey, this doesn't work for me.
Right.
Or, you know, back and forth, and there's no leaving it for the next guy.
Right.
You know,
Because you guys, it's a community. It's not like all these subs are getting together to build one house and then leaving. You guys are working on every house all day, every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, we have pretty much every trade, you know, one trade at a time, and, you know, we all take care of each other. And it's a really good deal. So it's very high quality from beginning to end. And that's something that really impressed me when.
But not the negative.
There.
The negative peoples on Indeed, they didn't like the high quality.
No, they didn't.
Negative reviews. Like,
And
I was working there for 2 weeks. I was going as fast as I could, and they fired me. You know, and it's like, well, you know, speed and quality are
right.
yeah, probably you guys deal a lot with speed and quality because you still got to get these homes done, you know. But I think it's more like if you keep after it, it's amazing how much you can accomplish in 8 hours if you just sort of keep after it, you know.
100%. Yeah.
I think a lot of people dilly, you know, maybe a little too much.
100%. And it's finding kind of that balance. You know, efficiency isn't really all about speed.
Right.
It's kind of finding that balance of when to hit the gas, when to hit the brake, and you know, taking all of your opportunities you can to hit that gas, and then hitting the brakes when you need to for that detail-oriented stuff. You know, making sure, you know, everything is solid, rock solid, no air bubbles, no blisters, no, you know. So it's taking those opportunities when you can.
Okay. Yeah. Smooth finish is a lot of work, though.
It is.
So I mean, in my brain, I'm like, Hunter could be finishing these little teeny houses to a level 3, no sand, and just blow them out in Fresco Harmony sanded, man. Pick whatever color you want, and then they don't have to paint either.
Right. And that's kind of one of those things that I was thinking too. And you get the best of both worlds, a super high quality drywall installation plus, you know,
this plaster finish.
Exactly. That's one of the challenges is, you know, finding ways to do really top-notch work in a tight timeline every single time. And smooth wall is hard to do that.
Yeah.
It's doable, but it's not easy. And Fresco Harmony is one of those things to where, you know, it's kind of going up a level. And I love that about Fresco Harmony is it kind of.
You could save the time too. I mean, there's some ways. I was talking a little bit with Chloe about like spraying the base coat. If you're doing a sanded, have you done a sanded Fresco Harmony finish?
Yeah.
So like it sits up more on the surface. So all you have to do is fog that level 3 with a sprayer, do your sanded trowel over the top of that, and then sealer. And then we also have spray sealer, which you could spray it. It's not going to be as strong. Fresco's a little softer than like a traditional plaster, but you still get the beauty, you get the color, you know. I mean, maybe you could spray 2 coats or something. I don't know, you know.
Yeah. You can certainly do it fast. And it's, I mean, it is a softer finish, but it's not really any softer than, you know, custom millwork with, you know, a coat of poly on it. You know, if you bonk a chair into it, it's going to scratch both of those.
Well, a level 5, it's like, paint's strong. You could white paint, but if you bang it with a chair, that's a bitch patch.
Yeah.
Like, it's no easier. Fresco, it's like, you still got to go corner to corner with the paint. Like, you know, you can go corner to corner with the Fresco and you don't need the paint. But there is a dude out of Montrose, John Galtiero of Galtiero Steel. He's done actually just some regular Fresco, no sand, but he sprayed out the sealer, 2 coats, like gangbusters. Like, so really, you would only be troweling 1 coat. Like in these little modulars. And I told Chloe, like, I was like, I'll talk to Hunter about it. Like, you know, you could be blowing out like floor by floor by floor, you know, no sanding.
Right. That's another thing I love about that is the no sanding part.
Yeah, especially with lung issues.
Right. Yeah. And shoulder issues. You know, I'm sure you're in the same boat, but you sand for enough years and, you know, they get worn out.
I got out. I mean, I started doing this around 28, so I kind of got out, you know, earlier. So I'm not dealing with some of the upper, but a little bit of carpal tunnel from the from all the hawk and trowel work. But I mean, I'm physically, I haven't done enough to crush myself. A lot of the plaster guys with all the burnishing, they get a lot of shoulder and wrist stuff.
Yeah.
But so I mean, modular. Yeah, I mean, it just like, to me, it just makes sense. Something weird, something, I was talking about a little bit with Chloe, but we need to really flesh out. But you should talk to John Galtiero. I can get you his number.
Yeah, please do.
Cool dude too. Like,
yeah,
he's a plaster guy too. He does plaster and Tadillac and micro cement and all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool. Very cool. So, what tools are you using in the modular? You're achieving a level 5. Do they let you pick your own tools? How does that work?
Yeah. I mean, we pretty much have everything.
Okay.
Outside of continuous flow tools. We pretty much have everything.
Have you considered continuous flow for this volume?
I mean, yeah, I have. It's just one of those things to where, to me, continuous flow isn't really viable unless you can stick with the one tool for a good solid 8 hours,
like
10
all
hours,
all day,
like all day
yeah.
one tool. Like if you're cranking out 10, 15, 20 rolls of tape,
okay,
and just running that bazooka wide open, then I could see it. But in more of a like a custom modular kind of thing, to where things are a little bit different, or you're working on 2 different modulars to where the layout's different. You might be on tape on one modular, but you're on first, second coat on the other one,
right?
And so it's one of those things to where continuous flow doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have thought about it.
Okay. What kind of tools are you running?
Flat boxes, bazooka, hawk, trowel.
What brand?
Knives. Tape Tech.
Tape Tech. Okay.
Yep.
And all Tape Tech, huh? Like, do you run the bazooka and?
Yeah. So all the automatic tools, I like Tape Tech.
Okay. Why do you like Tape Tech?
I guess it's just what I've always used.
Yeah.
Like level 5, I love their boxes.
Okay.
But Tape Tech has just kind of always been the go-to for me, just for one reason or another. No.
What do you use for second coat on your angles?
Angle box.
Angle box. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a Tape Tech angle box?
Yeah.
You may want to try a throttle
Mud Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been eyeballing them for a few years now. I'd love to play with one.
There you go.
We'll see.
Yeah.
One of these days.
Yeah, for sure. This sounds like a really great spot. Are they going to hire you some help anytime soon? They're going to give you like an apprentice?
Hopefully. So I actually do both their drywall and their tile.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, so it gets there.
Yeah.
I do have an apprentice for the tile.
Okay.
And as far as the drywall goes, yeah. We've been trying that out a little bit. We want to, keep our drywall, very controlled, and they want it perfect. And I can deliver that. And it's one of those things to where it's kind of hard to get to the point they want. So.
Well, that's why too with the fresco, you wouldn't have to have it so perfect. You get the plaster look, but it's not it's irregular smooth.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different directions you can go with fresco. So
True.
For here recently, I probably did 15, 20 samples.
Okay.
just playing with sand and some acrylic paints and some copper metallics, and
yep,
like the range that you can go with Fresco Harmony is amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
You can. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can come up with your own stuff. People are always like, "Can you burnish it?" and blah blah blah. It's like, you can do 20 coats of the shit if you want.
Yeah.
Or you can do 3 really fast coats.
Yeah.
And like create a production finish that looks awesome and is fast as hell.
It just kind of depends on what the clients are looking for too, because it's kind of the same problem I was having with selling it. They don't really have this problem, but everybody's kind of looking for what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And until they see it, it's one of those things to where they haven't seen it before, so they kind of hesitate to jump on it.
Yep. It might be a little upcharge for the client to get a beautiful specialty fin, maybe 10 or 20%. I don't know. I gotta really dig in with somebody over there about like how we could probably make this work. It seems like pretty it seems doable. But yeah, they're talking about a show in Denver. Do you know what the name of that show is?
I don't remember the name of the show. I know there's one in Denver, and then I think there's another one in Vegas.
And these are these are like modular shows, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. So they're talking about doing a fresco unit in for these shows, which I would donate the materials. But yeah, I'd love to go. Be there. Talk about the wall.
Yeah, that would be
That'd be great.
That would be awesome. That would be great.
I'd love to. It's 6 hours from here, man. I could drive to Denver for sure. So
you're close to both of them. Yeah,
both. So 8 hours to Vegas. Yeah, I could hit both.
That would be awesome.
I need to put a call into Chloe and talk to her a little bit more, but then get you, work with you on the technical aspect of like, how can we create a super fast plaster finish that costs the client marginally more than smooth finish and paint.
Right.
I think it's going to be faster because smooth finish is so hard.
Yeah, I think it could definitely be faster. So right now I can do it in, pretty much any size build in about 4 days.
Okay.
And that's, pre-fill to sand.
That not hang?
No, not hang.
Ready to paint?
Yeah, ready to paint, finish in 4 days.
Okay, and then so you 4 days, and then, but you still got to paint.
Correct.
So, but the painting takes a day, right?
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
You probably got a pretty good painter, but they're spraying all those units, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, like if there's, sealing mill work, things like that have to go in, before, kind of a order of operations thing, then, it'll be rolled sometimes.
What's the volume, I guess? Oh, sorry, the average size of each house, would you say 700 square feet? These are teeny.
I think 700 is, pushing it. I'd say closer to, 4. Oh,
okay. Wow. Cool.
Closer to 400, but, again, it varies depending on the build, because we do everything, from design to, delivery.
400 square feet, so that's like 1,600 or 1,200 wall feet, roughly, correct?
Yes.
Dude, 4 days, piece of cake, man. Tape and one coat it, go into your base coat of fresco, spray that out in a day. So that's day 3 at the most, but I think you could probably spray out that base coat day 2. You could probably tape it and coat it in a day, right?
Probably.
Okay, so tape, coat it in a day. Day 2, spray out base coat. Day 3, trowel. That's a bit to trowel in a day, but you could do it. Day 4, you spray out your sealer, and you don't have to paint. It'll be faster.
It probably would be, yeah.
No sand, because you're not sanding. You're not grinding down that level 4, level 5. You're skipping those two sections.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only thing is I try to avoid hot mud outside of pre-fill. So
well, I was going to ask you about mud skip. Like, have you played around?
I really want to try that.
Okay, we'll get you some. I'll talk to Paul, man. I mean, it's a product that goes into the mud that theoretically, and people have different varying, experiences with it. Mm-hmm. But I know they target modular a lot, where you could do tape coat and like tape coat and first coat a box in one day, wet on wet. In theory. Yeah.
I'd love to try it out.
But they'll do like 2 coats of the box in the same day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to try that stuff out.
Okay. Yeah, they should send you guys. I'll talk to Paul. They should send you a bucket of the powder though. So you just add the powder to your regular all-purpose, and then you'd be able to at least, I don't know if you could tape and 2 coat in the same day just based on time. But you could probably tape out a unit and then coat it with a box.
For sure, yeah. Tape and box. We could do that in one day.
But you, why do you like to stay away from the quick set?
So I like using quick set for certain things. I have found that like a lot of the adhesion issues that I've ran into over the years have been from hot mud.
Oh.
Like when I have a
adhesion to the drywall?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just have like weird issues to where like I'll have one spot that doesn't adhere the way I want it to. Or like when I try and 2 coat with hot mud, I'll get weird stepping issues that I just drive me nuts. So
I've had issues with Fresco where you do the coats with the hot mud, trying to speed up a wall. Right. Use like 45-minute, tape it, coat it, and then try to do the base coat of Fresco because it's dry. It's not cured, but it's dry, and that band will flash if the quick set is not dry all the way.
Yeah, so it's one of those things to where every time I try and use it, it's always I get something weird.
Okay.
So I try and stay away from hammering it out with hot mud.
Okay.
Just because I want it right the first time every time, and
Well, also if you can do two floors, if you could tape or 4 floors, if you can tape out 4 houses that are ready to go, well, then you don't need hot mud.
Right, exactly. So there's certainly a way to integrate that.
Yeah, you've got enough to do in a day.
100%.
Yeah. Good conversation, though. Makes the wheels turn.
Yeah, it sure does.
It'd be fun, right? I mean, all this shit that I do is just like, oh, that'd be cool. But I know that the mud skip people do target modular specifically for production purposes, where you can do wet on wet. That's a big selling point that they use.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to them.
So now all of a sudden you're getting, but they don't have the color. So they're getting modular people, because Sheila is talking about like, oh, well, you could skim the whole wall and burnish it down like plaster, because it also gives it kind of like plaster qualities a little bit.
Right.
So I put mud skip into the Fresco Harmony because it preserves it. So if I have a bucket kicking around, it doesn't go bad. Like it doesn't mold. Yeah, like so there's some lime or something in it that has preservative qualities. But if on the second coat, I don't know if you've gotten this. I've gotten complaints from like, Umbrella to name one, but like they got mad because like one of the buckets got real runny. So if it sat for a little while, but I run my second coat thinner and the bucket went and it sits, and then you go to like reanimate it and it's really runny.
Right.
I don't know why it does that kind of, but you can dump the mud skip in and it gives it re-girth.
Oh,
Like,
that's
so
really cool.
even if my mud is thinned down a little too much, I can add mud skip and it thickens it.
That's
Super
really
cool. Yeah, that part is kind of cool. So I've messed with it a long time. I know Sheila and Paul, super cool people. They've supported the Drywall podcast. You know, they send me product. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. You know, reluctantly, just like any good drywaller, you know, reluctant to try something new. And like, you know, over time, I was seeing the benefits. Another one is like, well, I go through and like I'm sealing a room and there's a blister, you know, and I'm like,
Right.
so I don't want to take another day, so I can cut that blister out, fix it with the Fresco Harmony and the mud skip in it,
Right.
and then seal it and go on. Doesn't
Right.
shrink. Like you don't even see it. So you can fix patches sort of on the fly.
Yeah, I'd love to try it and, you know, see how it does, you know, with the movement that's in, you know, modulars and tiny homes.
Right.
Like, and it's one of those things to where, you know, it really puts your techniques and materials to the test, you know, to see how they do. But I'd love to try it.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we can't get you hooked up. I'm sure we can, but especially since you work in a modular facility, they'll send you a bucket to try, you know, and like just like throw a little bit in your next several batches or whatever and start playing. You know, it's like it isn't going to be like this epiphany right out of the gate, but you'll like start to be, oh, okay, that's interesting. It's working that way. Oh, you know, I could use it here and there. I think you could get away with just using it on the second coat with Fresco Harmony,
Right.
because of how it smooths out, and the preservative, because you always have extra in a bucket.
Right.
So now when I go to that bucket 3 months later to make a sample or do a patch, it's not moldy or weird or something, you know.
Right.
So
and the burnishing thing really intrigues me because, you know, it kind of gets you to both ends of that, to where some people I've talked to about Fresco don't really like how much texture comes with it. So I've gotten to the point to where I can get it really tight. But there's still a little bit of texture.
Yeah.
But the more you're able to burnish that, you know, it kind of casts that net quite a bit wider.
Yeah. With the sand, too, I feel like you can get a smoother with sealer.
Yeah.
And you can go on it like halfway dry, and it like compresses it like Structolite.
Right.
If you want it like super flat, I always try to not make it perfectly flat because I don't want to create weird expectations.
Right.
And then I found too, a lot of people like the imperfection, so it's like they like a little bit of movement. Right. So it just totally depends on, you know, how you're doing it, but because you're going to need to establish just a couple of different finishes for your clientele, like that are fast, simple, maybe one or two that are busy and complicated, but for the most part simple. Hunter Thome out of Cleveland, Tennessee, on the Drywall Podcast. Thank you for being with us today, sir.
I appreciate it, Nick. Good time.
I like that conversation. I always ask too, and you've listened to a few episodes, right? You like the podcast? Yeah. Okay, great. Which episode do you like the best?
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the Morph Sander.
Oh, the Morph guy, yeah. James Wyhonig.
Thank you. Yes.
Do you use it?
It's really cool.
Do you use the Morph on the?
No.
In the fact, you got to get some.
I know. It's on my list, but I really appreciate what he's doing with the 3D printing. I think the innovation is really cool.
Dude, but he inspired me to redo my website. Like, that guy he's unreal. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully my website's more efficient now. I was just working on it this morning, but he's a very sharp character. And the last Jake Nilsson that we just listened to uses all Morph. Like, and he's good. Like, if you catch the last episode, man, it's good. Jake's like, he's a really good finisher. They've got like 12 of them, you know.
Right.
That's all he uses.
Really?
So cool. Yeah. And then a pearl of wisdom that you can bestow on your fellow trades people, something you could put on a billboard. What do you got?
Oh, you're never faster if you have to do it twice.
What can we dissect that a little bit? What does that mean to you?
In the production environment that a lot of us are, you know, kind of pushed towards, you know, go fast, get it done. It's never going to be faster if you have to fix it. If you have to do that same job twice, if you have to do that same wall twice, you're never faster if you do it twice. So take the time, take a little extra time, do it right, and then you'll be faster in the end.
Yeah. Sometimes, like you were saying it earlier, like if you just pause, fix this little thing,
yep.
you can prevent all that time
yep.
down the road.
Yep.
I remember my buddy in high school was a mechanic. His dad was a mechanic. He worked in a mechanic shop, but they had a sign in their shop that said, if you can't take the time to do it right the first time, how are you going to find the time to redo it?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Hunter Thome, thank you so much for being on the Drywall Podcast today. We will talk more, sir. There is something here. And if I do end up going to one of these shows, which I would love to do, 2 weeks, 2 days in Denver, no big deal. It'd be really fun if I could get it, or even Vegas for that matter. Vegas is really fun. Mm-hmm. It would just be a kick to hang out with you guys. I think this company, Wind River Built, is phenomenal. It sounds like you are confirming that to me. And Chloe's really cool, and it just seems like it'd be really cool to get in with you guys in some capacity. So I appreciate all the information, and yeah, we'll talk soon, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Nick.
All right, buddy, you have a good day.
You too.
All right, man, take it easy. Huge shout out to Hunter for being with us and sharing his experience on the Drywall Podcast today. You, sir, are a scholar and a gentleman. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing what comes of this relationship with Wind River Built, how we can get Fresco Harmony rolling over there, where you take it, etc., etc. Also, I'd like to give a huge Drywall Podcast shout out to our good friends at Can-Am Tools for sponsoring this month and the month of September on the Drywall Podcast. It's because of sponsors like Can-Am and badass finishers like Hunter that I get to bring you original content each and every month. This month we are highlighting Can-Am's newest tool, the Creaser Corner Finisher, pioneered by a finisher named Pete Wilson and developed by Can-Am. This tool tackles the insane challenge of coming up with something that both rolls and glazes those inside angles. Find out more at www.canamtool.com or look for this tool at your favorite drywall retailer. Also join us next week as we have Pete Wilson himself on to talk about this tool, and he's a great guy with a great story. You have a lot of programs to listen to when you choose something on the radio, but today you chose the Drywall Podcast, and I'm appreciative to you for that. Thank you so much. I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend or week, and remember, keep drywalling.